Nothing is permanent except our own demise and God. I'm not mad at people, I'm just sad, I'm disappointed. How could you go along with this? You know it's not true, but you're saying it anyway? You're saying, I have an idea, let's castrate the next generation. Let's sexually mutilate children.
I want to talk about Tucker Carlson. I would hope for one last time, but I know that it's not going to be.
Because the story of the last decade is the collapse of leadership, not of the population. The people remain noble and decent, so far as I can tell. I still live here, I'm never leaving. We have good people, we have terrible people in charge. And not just of our government, but of the institutions that I grew up in, the Episcopal Church, my high school. I could just go on and on and on. They're all run by weak people.
This was all part of his Christian fakery, I'm above it all, yet still trying to run to be Donald Trump's vice president speech.
And, it's the same in marriage. Weak husband causes angry wife. Weak leaders cause an angry country. That's true.
It's all Christian fakery, all designed to make him Donald Trump's VP pick.
They had high intellectual standards. They were standards of honesty. And, the idea at Heritage when I worked there wasn't just that, we're fighting this war against the other side, of course, but it did not logically follow from that at Heritage that you could say whatever you wanted. Just because the other side was rotten didn't mean you could be rotten. They really hewed to the highest standards of factual accuracy, intellectual honesty. They really meant it. They did.
He talks about factual accuracy as if he has led any kind of such thing during his bullshit show that is now over.
Well, two things. One, our entire political orientation was based on this war between the United States and the Soviet Union, this Cold War, but very much a war. And every part of our politics, as you well remember, those of you my age and older remember, every part of our politics revolved around that central conflict. We were in conflict with a country that was both anti-markets and anti-Christian.
The Cold War was only at the heart of politics for the Republicans. Regular people had regular lives. Republicans brought it to the very core of their being.
And that put in stark relief our own beliefs and what would happen when that ended, when there wasn't that clear contrast. That's the first thing.
And they didn't know what to do when it went away. They were at a loss. People like Tucker melted down.
And of course, the second thing is we could never have known the third week of August 1991, as we saw totalitarianism die, that it would ever come here.
Now, I would hope this would be the last time I would ever have to talk about this, because I'm sick and tired of Tucker Carlson. But I think we all know he wants to be VP.
We just couldn't imagine that. We believe that victories were permanent. They're not, of course. That's the first lesson of history. Nothing is permanent except our own demise and God. But we didn't kind of get that. If you told me then that this week the Department of Justice would have indicted a group of people I don't agree with, by the way, on a lot of different issues, black nationalist socialists from Florida, okay, kind of not my demographic.
Not his demographic. I'll let you make your own conclusion on that.
And charge them with felonies, for which they're each facing 10 years in prison. If you told me that could happen here, I would have laughed at you.
Because they broke laws, motherfucker. I know that's not a thing for Republicans anymore, now that everybody knows that y'all are a bunch of damn crooks.
But here are two conclusions I've come to, which I think are slightly less depressing than the most obvious, which is the country's really going at high speed in the wrong direction. Yeah, no kidding. Like in ways that are just unfathomable. And
the country's going in the wrong direction, I absolutely agree. And people like Tucker Carlson are bound and determined to make it so. Thank God these people aren't in power.
It's too much, actually. The change is too abrupt. They can't metabolize it, really. It's too horrifying. But for those of us who are still engaged in trying to figure out what this means and not just repelled by it, I would say two things that I think we're thinking about. The first is you look around and you see so many people break under the strain, under the downward pressure of whatever this is that we're going through. And you look with disdain and sadness as you see people become Quislings, you see them revealed as cowards, you see them going along with a new thing, which is clearly a poisonous thing, a silly thing. saying things they don't believe because they want to keep their jobs. If there's a single person in this room who hasn't seen that.
Yeah, the shiny new, yet incredibly poisonous thing, like Donald Trump. This guy is so full of shit. This guy is trying to play people. It's almost as if he knew his days were done.
That's a very strong impulse in all of us from birth. And it takes over, unfortunately, in moments like this, and it's harnessed, in fact, by bad people in moments like this.
Yeah, like Trump.
To produce uniformity. And you see people going along with this, and you lose respect for them. And that certainly happened to me at scale over the past 3 years.
I'm sure it has.
I'm not mad at people, I'm just sad. I'm disappointed. How could you go along with this? You know it's not true, but you're saying it anyway?
This is all about LGBTQ plus. He's so concerned about these letters that just freak him out. He doesn't know what to do. It's almost too much for him. Now that they've lost the Cold War, the culture war is all they got left. And because there's not actually one, they're making one up.
I'm serious. I feel like I'm an addition. Does that make me a plus? No one even knows what it is. And the whole society, LGBTQIA plus. All right, what's the plus? Oh, shut up, racist. Okay.
What do you even care? You conceited piece of shit, store-bought asshole.
Back to my point. So you see the sadness happening. But there is, as there always is, this is a fact of nature and theology and of observable reality, there is a countervailing force at work always. There's a counterbalance to the badness. It's called goodness. And you see it in people. So for every 10 people who are putting he and him in their electronic JP Morgan email signatures, there's one person who's like, no, I'm not doing that. Sorry, I don't want to fight, but I'm not doing that. It's a betrayal of what I think is true. It's a betrayal of my conscience, of my faith, of my sense of myself, of my dignity as a human being, of my autonomy. I am not a slave. I am a free citizen, and I'm not doing that. And there's nothing you can do to me to make me do it. And I hope it won't come to that.
It doesn't affect you at all, not one iota, not one bit. You can live the rest of your life and never think about it again.
I don't want to get supernatural on you. But you are filled with this power from somewhere else. Try it. Tell the truth about something. You feel it every day. The more you tell the truth, the stronger you become. That's completely real. It's measurable in the way that you feel. And of course, the opposite is also true. The more you lie, the weaker and more terrified you become. We all know that feeling. You lie about something and all of a sudden you're a prisoner of that lie. You are diminished by it. You are weak and afraid.
I absolutely agree that truth is powerful and lies make you weak. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Tucker Carlson.
Someone came up to me, you're so brave. Really? I'm a talk show host. It's like I can have any opinion I want. That's my job. That's why they pay me. It's not brave to tell the truth on a cable news show. And if you're not doing that, you're really an idiot. You're really craven. You're lying on television. Why would you do that? You're literally making a living to say what you think, and you can't even do that? Please.
Someone not telling the truth on television? Imagine that.
You just go into little re-education meetings and you're like, yeah, diversity is our strength. That's exactly right. We need equity in the capital markets. Okay, all right. So if you're the one guy who refuses to say that, you are a hero, in my opinion.
They're so damn concerned about people who have pronouns.
No one is trained to stand up in the middle of a DEI meeting at Citibank and say, this is nonsense. And the people who do that, they have my deepest admiration. And so their example really gives me hope.
How about the guy that speaks up at the Citibank meeting and says, maybe we shouldn't fuck over America, destroy the economy, and then expect a fucking bailout? Which the Republicans lined up to give. And George Bush signed that paper immediately. No. Let's talk about this.
There is no way to assess, say, the transgenderist movement with that mindset. Policy papers don't account for it at all. If you have people who are saying, I have an idea, let's castrate the next generation. Let's sexually mutilate children.
What the fuck? Castrate the next generation? This guy is fucking insane. But that's what it takes in today's MAGA. Notice how this is all biblical? Making sure to really get in there, because he's got to fill that Mike Pence slot, And the reason why Mike Pence was there was because he was loved by the evangelicals. So you got to have good Bible credentials, and this speech is what that was about. My God, what's next? Human sacrifice?
Well, it's irrational. If you say, well, I think abortion is always bad, well, I think sometimes it's necessary, that's a debate I'm familiar with. But if you're telling me that abortion is a positive good, what are you saying? Well, you're arguing for child sacrifice, obviously. Well, that's like an Aztec principle, actually. So, that's what that is. Well, what's the point of child sacrifice? Well, there's no policy goal entwined with that. No, that's a theological phenomenon. What you're watching is not a political movement, it's evil. I'll put it in non-political, or non-specific theological terms.
In biblical terms, he started to say. He's looking for a way to not say, I read the Bible because I'm Christian.
And just say, if you want to know what's evil and what's good, what are the characteristics of those? And by the way, I think the Athenians would have agreed with this. This is not necessarily just a Christian notion. This is kind of I would say, widely agreed upon understanding of good and evil. What are its products? What do these two conditions produce?
This guy is more full of shit than Donald Trump. And that's why he's perfect. That's what this was about. Donald Trump's gonna pick him as VP. Mark my word.
Well, good is characterized by order, calmness, tranquility, peace, whatever you want to call it, lack of conflict, cleanliness. Cleanliness is next to godliness. It's true, it is. And evil is characterized by their opposites. Violence, hate, disorder, division.
Yeah, on his show.
Disorganization and filth. So if you are all in on the things that produce the latter basket of outcomes, what you're really advocating for is evil. That's just true. I'm not calling for religious war, far from it. I'm merely calling for an acknowledgement of what we're watching, which is not what, and I'm certainly not backing the Republican Party. Ugh.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Ideas, they don't want a debate. Those ideas won't produce outcomes that any rational person would want under any circumstances. Those are manifestations of some larger force acting upon us. It's just so obvious. It's completely obvious.
He doesn't want to say biblical, so he says things like, a larger force. Can you feel it?
As if maybe, I could just win the debate if I marshaled more facts. I've tried that, doesn't work.
Yeah, because the reality is he's done with facts. He has been for a long time. That's how he got the job on Fox News.
And two, maybe we should all take just 10 minutes a day to say a prayer about it. I'm serious. Why not?
Because he really wants you to know that all of this is at the heart of his soul and at the core of his belief system, which is rooted in a Christian, Judeo, solidly American value. What a bunch of horse shit. This guy doesn't give a fuck about values. He doesn't give a fuck about Christianity. He doesn't give a fuck about Jesus. He gives a fuck about Tucker Carlson. He gives a fuck about the Republicans. And if you believe anything other than that, then you haven't been paying attention to the last 15 years of Tucker Carlson. No matter what network he got fired from, it was always the same bullshit. Hell, it's only gotten worse.
And I'm saying that to you, not as some kind of evangelist, I'm literally saying that to you as an Episcopalian. The Samaritans of our time. I'm coming to you from the most humble and lowly theological position you can. I'm literally an Episcopalian, okay? And even I have concluded it might be worth taking just 10 minutes out of your busy schedule to say a prayer for the future, and I hope you will.
So it's Christian fuckery wrapped up in a I want to be VP slot. Well, guess what, y'all? Line up. Because this isn't going to be the last fucking Tucker Carlson video. My God. Donald Trump is fixing to pick this motherfucker to run for vice president. Remember that I said it. It's happening. Holy shit.
Things go south at Fox News, there's always a job for you at Heritage.
Well, you've saved me before. So thank you.
I am sick and fucking tired of these people. But I'm Zachariah, Lone Star Liberal. See you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really helps out my channel.
And I'm dead serious, and I don't mean to, I'm not going to tell you to buy golden ammo, though obviously you should think about it.
And hey, check it out. We have 1,000 subscribers. 1,000 subscribers. Wow. That's very cool. Y'all take it easy. And thank you for everybody who subscribed.
Books, relationships, and ammo. Tucker Carlson's
Yeah.
Guide to the Universe.
Yes.
That is awesome.